dropped again today, comes back, big impact. And they needed that lift because first half was quite flat from Spurs, didn't really create anything, wasn't a good first half performance. But the moment he was introduced, it was like the stadium was lifted. You saw the shots of all the fans with obviously his flags and all these signs of his name. And then it was almost like he fed the energy off the crowd, got straight onto the pitch, combined with Kane. But when he got into that position, it's the composure that he showed there. And he hasn't shown that all season, but really good finish. And Spurs get that second goal.
Indeed, and that is the Premier League fixture list complete.
Well played, Ben, after a tough week. How good a response was that?
Yeah, I think it was a tough week, especially after the game against Leicester. We had a few home truths amongst ourselves, and I thought today we rectified that. We were solid, we worked hard, and won a lot of duels, so I'm happy with the win.
Yeah, Sonny, I'm sure you don't like being sub, but when you are, you certainly react in the right way.
I mean, it's nobody wants to sitting on the bench, to be honest. But I think, look, there's a decision you have to accept, and football can also change it from the bench. I think when I'm sitting on the bench, obviously I'm not happy. But if I'm come on, and I'll try to my best and try to help the team. So obviously the result was not perfect. And after, when we had the chance, then I was very, very happy to score and then help the team.
The thing is, what do the coaches learn from this? That never make you sub, or that you're good at it, so do it more?
I don't know. I mean, the decision is making always the manager, and then what I said before, I think we have to accept, and I'm very happy to get 3 points.
It was a cool finish, Ben, wasn't it, from Sonny?
Look, it's what we've come to expect from him. We see it every single day on the training pitch, and I think this year we've had a couple of moments where a bit of luck hasn't gone his way, but we know the quality we've got here.
And I tell you what, for someone who's been short of goals, you looked awfully confident. Great first touch. Ever any doubt when you threw on the goalkeeper?
No, I mean the pass was actually really good. The pass came to my feet, and then obviously that action we always training, and I think automatically come to my feet, and great touch. I mean the first touch make the happen the goal, and I say I'm grateful that I could help the team, and
Ben, what about the first goal? What are you doing up there?
It's been a while since I got that far forward, mate. But no, look, that's what you have to do. Is if playing in a wing back in this team, if you see the spaces, you've got to try and get in them. And it's a perfect ball from Pierre. And look, it makes it easy then when you've got Emerson free next to you.
Genuinely, because you were telling me before Sonny came into the room, not played wing back under this manager. So how did you find it? A few extra miles in the legs during the course of the game?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's up and down. You don't see too much of the ball sometimes, but you've always got to be available. And look, I'm happy to play wherever I can help the team.
And Sonny, what sort of a week has it been with the manager obviously away, resting, recuperating? What's it been like without him, and how have the other coaches done what have they done to fill in that gap?
Obviously, if he's not here, I think it's really, really sad. But look, I mean, sometimes we forget football is not the important thing. I think the human being, the healthy, and the family are the most important things, and I think we hope the gaffer is coming as soon as possible, and obviously the staff and the coaching staff did an amazing job and give us really, really good confidence and good works and good tactical, and I think that's what we've done. I think pretty well, clean sheet and 2-0, and take this good feeling.
That's really well said. To go with your goal, you've got one more job, and that is to present player of the match to wing back Ben Davies.
My best friend.
Thank you, brother.
Play both of you.
Thank
well
you.
Done. Well done.
Thank you.
Huge smile from Son. Only Harry Kane, incidentally, has now scored more Premier League goals for Spurs than Son. He's gone above Teddy Sheringham today, which is some statistic in itself. I know, joking apart, earlier in your career, you didn't have it, managers leaving out like Son has today. But later on, when it happened, how difficult is it to accept, maintain that attitude to go and do what Son's going to again today when you get your opportunity?
It is very difficult. People probably think, you get paid X amount of money, you should be able to do it. And, of course, you do it. But the difference is when you're someone like Son and you're an absolute icon, a top player, you
normal
can't...
starter.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm asking you the question.
But the mental side of it, Steve, is almost you can't have it both ways. So to be at the very elite, to be top class like Son, it takes you to be this, very, not selfish person, but everything, you're so driven and you're so, you see the game in a slightly different way, I guess. You're not just one of the squad members that half the time they're happy to play and sometimes they're happy to be. So to be what he is, it takes a certain type of person, certain type of attitude So then when you get left out, it almost hits you like a ton of bricks, I feel. But he has got the most exceptional attitude to the game. And every time he is put on the bench, which is not often, he comes on and he makes a difference. And we said before the game, it might be the best thing, even though you don't feel like it at the time. It's sometimes the best thing just to, bring someone out the firing line for a little bit, mainly to give them a bit of confidence again, because you come on and the rest of the team have been playing for an hour. Your opponents have been playing for an hour. There's tired legs out there. It's a bit of a free punch. It's quite easy to make an impression as a substitute coming on in an attacking position. So I think it was a good move. It'd be interesting to see if he starts in the next game.
How did you used to look at the game when you were on the bench? Furious that you weren't in from the start?
Just that you want to be in there. You want to go in there and make a real impact. It can be hard to take because, as I said, you feel like especially when you're a goal scorer and you look at the goals that he scored last season, you feel like you're almost missing opportunities when you're sitting on the bench like, the minutes are going there, I can't get a goal. But when you go on there, all you can try and do is try and make an impact. And Mo's right, when you come on and the opposition are tired, that little bit of sharpness will help you a little bit, where you've been sitting on the bench for 60 minutes. You get yourself into a little bit of position, you've got a bit more energy about you. And when he got his opportunity today, certainly he looked like he was ready for it. Whereas in previous games, we've seen him get these opportunities and maybe snatch it, maybe take it one step too far. Today, he looked like he was ready for it. Maybe a little bit of frustration, a little bit of anger, which you'd expect, because he's used to starting every single week.
And do you focus a little bit more mentally then, perhaps?
A little bit, because you feel like you have to make an impact. Even though he's been so good for so long, when someone says to you, listen, you're not playing today, as Mo said, it hits you and you don't like it. So even though on the interview, he looks fantastic, I guarantee if he hadn't scored today, that interview could have been a lot different. He wouldn't maybe have been as happy. But because he came on, scored, played really well, it was the right decision.
Yeah, and that finish, as Darren says today, he was focused, wasn't he? Right from the moment he got that opportunity.
He mentioned the first touch. He was all about the first touch. It's interesting, because Harry Kane could actually play it. There's two options. You either play it into the space or you wrap it in harder into their feet and let them do the work. Let them take the touch. And in this instance, I think it was absolutely the right ball because you couldn't feed it alongside him. The defender was there, so you had to fizz it into him quite firm. Test the touch out, no doubt, but that was a sublime first touch. And then as soon as he did that, it makes the finish a lot easier. Opens his body out. He stubs it into the ground a little bit, bounces it in. But it's all about the first touch for me.
Yeah, it's a fantastic goal. Good first touch. But what's interesting as well is because them two have got such a connection, it's the way Son bursts into life when he sees Harry Kane's about to get the ball. Other players might get the ball and he might not amble into position, but his movement not as dynamic. The moment Harry Kane gets on that half turn and is about to play it, Son's already gone because he knows the ball's coming. But not only is it coming, it's coming with real quality. And it is about, can he get that first touch? And once he gets into that position, it's a really, really good finish.
It is astonishing to see that. The goals, 1 in 20 starts and 4 in 2 substitute appearances.
It is. As I say, it's not easy coming off the bench, don't get me wrong, but it is a lot easier. You'll see a lot of players that you think, every time he comes on off the bench, he makes an impact. And then you start them and it's like, ooh, why don't you play? Because
that's
it's
the last thing you want to be known as, an impact player, isn't it?
But people that are just below the level of a Son, they can make an impact when they come on as a sub. Whereas people like Son can start and make a big impact a lot of the time. Whereas we all know he's gone through a little bit of an average patch, let's say, for him. But that could just kick him back into life.
In terms of the first goal, MRBEAR, how crucial a pass was that?
Yeah, really good. And Højbjerg, he's someone potentially, again, who's maybe not renowned for these type of pass, but to be fair to him, it was a really, really good pass. They work it really well. And again, it's the movement. Really, really eye of a needle type pass. And then once Davis gets in there, it's a really, really tidy goal. But from Højbjerg, we just don't expect it. We see it more for his national side than we do for Spurs, Michael.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ball. I mean, really good. When we look at as soon as he plays it, I mean, it's hardly on. It's where would you I mean, he plays it right through that gap. It's almost Kevin De Bruyne-esque, isn't it? The way he has that vision to spot something that's going to materialise in the next second or so. But, from that angle there, as he's about to play it, I'm surprised he sees his teammate, let alone sees an area for him to play it in. It was an absolute brilliant ball and set off what was a really, really good goal.
From an unlikely source.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, because usually I've seen him get into them positions before and he doesn't quite finish it as accomplished as he did then. But really well-worked goal from Spurs. Good finish, and he had to get off to a good start.
Yeah. No goals then at half-time in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's taken a while to get going, shall we say, Darren?
Yeah, listen, it's been a bit of a difficult watch, but two teams cancelling each other out. Real lack of quality, real belief, I think, as well, from either team. I don't know if it's because West Ham are not in great form. Spurs, obviously, the hiding they took to Leicester. But no team's really asserted themselves into this game, and you're still looking for that real bit of quality to get the game going.
One huge talking point in that first half. Thilo Kehrer of West Ham. Michael Oliver had a look on field. VAR, David Coote had a look, and they were happy, no penalty. What did you think?
Yeah, well, it continues a bit of a theme, doesn't it, with West Ham and their handballs recently. I thought it was a penalty, I must admit. I didn't think they were going to change it once it went to VAR.
Why?
Because I just don't think they do that anymore. I think the bar's been, raised and that wasn't going to get given straight away because Michael Oliver had a good view and a good angle of it. But I don't know how that's not a penalty. It's basically stopped the ball going to Harry Kane, and I think it's a penalty. I don't know what you think.
I'm 100% the same as you, because if you look where Harry Kane is, pulls off to a nice position, he impedes it, he stops the ball from getting to its destination. For me, it's 100% penalty. I don't see how they can say it's not. So, yeah, really, really poor decision again. But West Ham, if you're a West Ham fan, you're buzzing, because that's two in the matter of 2 weeks.
Yeah, with Souček last week, I mean, there's a lot of similarities, actually, between the two incidents.
Yeah, there is. I mean, this one, for me, is more blatant than the one we've seen today. But, I mean, they got this one wrong when Conor Gallagher has a shot and he basically saves it, Souček. But then when you look at, again, today's one with Richarlison, I mean, they're two stonewall penalties. I don't see how you can look at it and go, they're not. This one was bonkers, because how anyone could say it's not a penalty, didn't get it. And again, it's a similar situation today, Mo.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think they're both penalties. I do think the Souček one is an absolute certainty of a penalty. I think today's is a penalty.
Are you saying, though, Michael, that if you were in VAR today, that from Kehrer and what's happened on the field isn't a clear and obvious error?
I think the first one is Souček is just a...
No, today's one.
No, because I think that there might be, you asked 100 people, I think there might be 5, 10 people that might say, no, do you know what? I don't think it really is. It's not intentional, blah, blah, blah. So, and that's, we spoke to Howard Webb not so long ago, and he said, we're not going to be
So that's not in the howler category for you?
I don't think it's in the howler category. I think it's a penalty, but I don't think it's in the howler category, whereas I thought last week's with Souček was a real howler, and I thought that should have been brought back. But if that wasn't going to get brought back last week, then there was no way that they were going to reverse that this week. OK, we talked about no Son before kick-off. Richarlison's come in. So the Kane and Son combination isn't there. How's that altered with Harry Kane and Richarlison? Well, Harry Kane's role has reversed. He'd normally be in this Richarlison area with Son up front. It's not quite worked so far. Richarlison's had an average game, giving the ball away a fair bit. There was a couple of occasions where it was close to working, and of course that nearly resulted in a West Ham goal. But you see this sort of axis of one dropping off and Harry Kane keeping the length. There was one occasion actually, Darren, as well, later on in the game when it reversed. In fact, this is not a bad effort. I like this combination play. Nearly got in, but unfortunately it went out for throwing. But this is the time when it actually is roles reversed.
Yeah, it is, Harry Kane dropping in and Richarlison making the run in behind. It's a really good run as well, and quite a good pass from Harry Kane. But I think he should head it, Richarlison. If he can get his head to it there and just get it over the goalkeeper, I think it's an opportunity on goal. But, I mean, the relationship between Kane and Richarlison is going to take time because they don't play together. Son and Kane, they know exactly how each other plays. Richarlison comes in for 15 minutes and he goes out. This is the first proper time they've got to play to each other. So it's not been bad. Richarlison's still trying to find his feet, but I still would expect for Spurs with the attacking players they've got on the pitch, more quality in that final third for sure.
Yeah, West Ham will be the happier. They've got a foundation to try and get a result here. The onus on Tottenham.
Definitely, yeah. West Ham would settle for a draw. Yeah, they'll go in and say absolutely the same. Yeah, I think for Tottenham to try to change things a little bit and try to go after this game. If they want to get in the Champions League, they're going to have to win games like this. But at the minute, they show nothing. And I said before the game, I don't particularly like watching Tottenham. I don't think they're a great team. And there's nothing that first half that's changed my mind. Let's hope for better in the second.